Well, it's a thrill to welcome in Kevin Hassett, and I have to say, Kevin, that when I talk to people, I like to Google them. I like to look.
Oh dear.
I like to do Google News headlines.
Okay.
And here's what I know about you: you're devastatingly effective in your job.
Oh, good.
All the
Thanks.
right people are writing nasty things about you, like at the Bulwark. Meet Kevin Hassett, Conservatism's Invincible Ignoramus. Now, I haven't read this, but it's the Bulwark, and I consider the source. And
I don't know what the Bulwark is even.
It's a Trump-hating. It was all a bunch of guys who left the Republican Party who were Romney acolytes and decided to start an anti-Trump wing of media, and they don't like anything Trump.
I wonder if someone at the Bulwark would like to have a bet, like comparing our SATs or something.
I guarantee. And the reason, I don't mean to start out negatively. I bring it up because if those guys are writing about you, I'm serious. That means you're doing it well.
Well, that's very kind. But you know, one of the things I love about democracy is that if you're a senior government official in America, then it's really okay for people to make fun of you any way they want, because we're a democracy. We believe in freedom of speech. And if people want to say nasty things about me, that's like part of the job.
You are...
Like, I celebrate their right to do that, and I don't really get upset about it, because think about this. Everybody in my family, my dad's generation, fought in real wars with bullets flying at them.
Amen.
And I could have some guy call me an ignoramus to serve my country. It's like a minimal problem compared to what our forefathers did here.
It's an amazing attitude, and you're so awesome to have it. But you know that it's rooted in this disdain for what you guys are trying to achieve, which is shrink this town. They really, isn't it? At its root, this is a community of people that know that you and those you're working with are a threat to their existence, is the way I take this.
I just think the problem is that the government, as run especially by Barack Obama and Joe Biden, just got like more and more illogical.
Yes.
And it's just getting more and more illogical over time. And then all of a sudden we're doing really silly things everywhere you look for no good reason. And when we do that, the people whose bad ideas are exposed get embarrassed.
Yes.
But we're going to fix it even if they're embarrassed and say bad things. But here's an example. One of the many things that we've had to address is the fact that Joe Biden last year, rather than have a plan for the avian flu, just started killing all the chickens. And so if there's one chicken sick anywhere, then within 10, 20 miles, they killed all the other chickens. And so I'm talking to the Biden people that are doing this when I first get into the White House, and I said, I grew up with chickens. Have you ever seen a chicken fly? Well, they do a little bit, but not much. And so if I got a sick chicken 20 miles away, how's he going to infect the other chicken? Why did you have to kill all the chickens in between? And then they're kind of like, oh, okay. But the point is that this is what President Trump does. He's got common sense. You remember he said it on the campaign trail.
Yes.
Let's bring common sense back. And the people who did whatever they did for whatever reason, they don't have common sense. And I was on Margaret Brennan's show on Sunday.
Oh,
and no, I think she was very collegial towards me, and we had a pleasant conversation, and I respect that. But the point was that one of the things I've noticed in the first 3 or 4 weeks, and maybe it's the people like the folks you're talking about. I'm never going to look at these guys, by the way.
I love that you don't know who they are. That kills them that you don't know who they are.
Well, I've forgotten already. Who are they?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the point is that there are all these people that, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And the thing is that what I want to know is, why did they do that?
Yes.
Why did the Biden people do that?
Exactly
Why did they
right.
kill all the chickens? Why did they spend all this Green New Deal money that we can't even see who they're paying? Why did they spend trillions of dollars in creating an inflationary crisis that's as bad as we ever had almost under Jimmy Carter? Why did they do that? And while they were doing that, where were these guys who were calling me an ignoramus? Why did they not talk about it?
That's
so
right.
Why did they do that? Why did they do it? Why didn't they talk about it? What is wrong with them?
Do you have an answer as to the why? Because from outside looking in, it sure looked like purposeful destruction. Do you share that point of view?
I don't know. I think that a reasonable hypothesis of what was going on, and mindful of the fact that I've known Joe Biden for a long time, and back in the day used to enjoy having lunch with him and finding him a fun person
He wasn't
to be
running
around.
anything, was he?
I just think that the working hypothesis for me is that sadly he got ill, and then the White House didn't know how to function, and so it's kind of like if you have a vacation home that you go to once a year and you board it up and then you go in June and nobody's been there like since last June, and then you open it up, and then it can be pretty gnarly. What you like,
and then all of a
there's
sudden there's
spider webs
squatters
everywhere. Or there's maybe some squatters,
Yeah.
and then you say, "Hey, squatters, can I have my house back?" And then all of a sudden there's like these internet guys calling you an ignoramus. But this is what it's like.
Talk to me about being the director of the Economic Council. What does that job entail for people that aren't familiar with it?
Well, the chairman of the National Economic Council is President Trump. Okay, President Trump. The National Economic Council coordinates all the economic functions of government, and the director of that is the person that makes sure that the president's wishes are being fulfilled by the cabinet agencies.
Not a small job.
And so the point is that I don't actually have a lot of responsibility other than knowing what the president wants and making sure that the cabinet agencies know what he wants, and that they don't really want to have to find out that he's disappointed.
Have you talked with Elon? Have you done much with him?
Oh, sure. Elon's office is right near mine, and he's fantastic. And,
Now, for everyone that says a guy like that shouldn't be meddling in official government business, you say?
He's not meddling. If you ask Elon what's he doing, he says, "Well, I'm like the IT consultant."
Yeah.
But here's the way to think about it if you are a computer person at all. That one of the ways that the deep state has been wasting money on things like condoms for Hamas is that they built IT systems so nobody could see what they were doing. And what Elon's team has done, and often like it's just a couple people at a cabinet agency. They just brought in like a competent IT person, and they got read-only access to the data, so they can't do anything other than look at it, and then they analyze it, and then show the cabinet secretary, here's the stuff that your agency's been doing that you didn't know about because they have these outdated systems. And so having a smart IT person look and just say, here's the stuff we're doing. Hey, did you realize like how many social security numbers there are for people that are over 100 years old?
Yes.
Over 150 years old. And then all of a sudden, but Elon's the problem, but Elon is helping the cabinet secretaries fulfill the American people's wishes and spend money on what they care about and know what they're spending money on.
Don't you think that he has now shown us this is the way forward? You can't possibly go back to not auditing our government agencies the way he is. We have the technology he's showing us. We can't operate this way ever again.
Well, I think if you elect Democrats, then they might want to shut this down because they want to keep running. Like if you look at all the Green New Deal money that they were running through nonprofits, where like very sketchy nonprofits.
Yes.
We had one. I'm still following to make sure that this is true because it was only said to me verbally. They had one that they created in 2023 with $300,000, and in 2024 that nonprofit got $7 billion from the Biden administration. And I'm checking that that's true. It might not be true. I hope it's not true, but I think it's probably true. But can you imagine that they created a new nonprofit nobody had ever heard of for $300,000 in 1 year, and then the next year they mail a check for $7 billion to them, and they don't say why. And then Elon's team shows the EPA, hey, here's what the EPA just did. And then the EPA, they get to figure out what to do next.
When you hear people, say, we can't touch Social Security, we can't touch Medicare, it seems to me that literally the fraud and the waste and the abuse and the bloat that's being uncovered right now, if you really put muscle into it, that unto itself would keep Social Security and Medicare afloat. Am I doing the math correctly?
We're going to keep Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. All of that stuff is going to be afloat. But
this would actually fund it again if you actually took all those dollars.
They used to talk about how you could tell if it's a witch if they float or not or something, right? Well, the point is just that there are a lot of dead people that don't need their Social Security checks anymore. And if we find them all, then the people who are alive will have bigger checks.
Do you think there's criminal? I'll let you go on this. Is there criminality going on out there that eventually Pam Bondi's going to have to prosecute?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have any advice about prosecution in the Justice Department. That's law enforcement's
But there is
decision.
illegality going on in your view.
There are things that you see as we look at the numbers that make no sense, that make absolutely no sense, and it'll be great to get to the bottom of it.
I love what you do. I love this agenda.
Thank you.
I love that all the right people are criticizing you. That's why I led with that. I love
it sounds like the wrong people are criticizing me. I don't know. If I haven't heard of them.
They're right because they're wrong. That's my point.
It'd be interesting to see what they say now.
Yeah. Kevin Hassett, it is a real pleasure to meet you,
guys.
sir. Come back and see us.
Love to.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.